Australia government on Wednesday filed 59 charges against the only surviving suspect, Naveed Akram, who is one of the suspected persons allegedly responsible for the mass shooting at Bondi Beach in the city of Sydney targeting Jewish people on the Jews' first day to mark this year's Hanukkah festival, which led to the killing of 16 persons, including a married couple who was said initially tried to disarm one of the attackers before the husband and wife were killed, children aged 10 and above, and the suspect father and co-perpetrator, Sajid Akram, who was killed on the spot by the police, and 41 others including police officers and the bystander, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, who disarmed the 50-year-old one of the gunmen. Some of the 20 of the injured persons are still in critical condition in the hospital based on statement issued on Wednesday by local authority in Sydney. This, according to the New South Wales Police Force in a statement published on its website on Wednesday. The suspect was brought before the court, following extensive inquiries under Operation Arcs. Today, Wednesday the 17th of December, New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team, JCTT investigators attended a hospital where they charged the 24-year-old Bondi man with 59 offences, including commit terrorist act, 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of cause wounding, grievous bodily harm to person with intent to murder, discharge firearm, intent cause grievous bodily harm, cause public display of prohibited terrorist organization symbol, place explosive in near building with intent cause harm. And the court adjourned the case to April 2026 after the suspect made first appearance from his hospital bed before the Bail Division Local Court 7 via audio-visual link, AVL. The suspect was critically injured during the incident on Sunday, and had his first hearing from his hospital bedside, the local New South Wales court said. Earlier on Wednesday, New South Wales Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon said they were waiting for medication to wear off before formally questioning Akram. For his fairness, we need him to understand what is exactly happening, Lanyon said. Police have designated the attack a terrorist incident, with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese saying it appears to have been motivated by Islamic State group ideology. Police said, homemade Islamic State group flags and improvised explosive devices, IEDs, have been found in the vehicle used by the gunman. According to the New South Wales Police Force, the New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team has formally charged a 24-year-old man alleged to be one of 2 gunmen responsible for the Bondi Beach mass shooting that claimed the lives of 15 people. About 6:40 p.m. on Sunday the 14th of December, Israeli government has blamed the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, over the father and son terrorist act of mass shooting in Bondi Beach on Sunday evening around 6:47 p.m. in accordance with Australia local time, leading to the killing of 16 persons, including one of the suspected terrorists and a 10-year-old girl, and 42 others sustained injuries, according to the Premier of New South Wales State, Christopher Minns, when members of the Jewish community in the Sydney City of Australia came out in large numbers on day 1 to celebrate this year's Hanukkah festival. The Israeli government, through the video statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, during government meeting in Dimona and when he lit the first Hanukkah candle in Israel later on Sunday, said, there may be more terrorist attacks on the Jewish people because the Australia government is weak. We know there will be additional attacks. The safest place for the Jewish people in the world is where the government, the army, and the security forces will defend them, saying, on August 17, 2025, he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Australia wherein he said, your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. In a tweet posted through his personal verified X social media account few hours ago, Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said, "In moments like this, we must come together. Australia stands united against hatred and terror." Speaking during the news conference on Sunday, Australia's Home Minister, Tony Burke, gave more details about the gunmen, who happened to be father and son, Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. He says the father arrived in Australia in 1998 on a student visa. The son, who we know is Naveed Akram, is an Australian-born citizen. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed at the scene, taking the total number of dead to 16, while his 24-year-old son is in a critical condition in hospital. Local media reported that both men pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, adding that Naveed first came to authorities' attention. Not less than 11 persons, said to be mostly from the Jewish community and police officers, were shot dead by terrorists on Sunday at Bondi Beach in the Sydney city of Australia, as thousands came out to mark this year Hanukkah or Hanukkah festival, a festival that is known as the Jewish Festival of Lights, usually an 8-day winter celebration marking event of the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and a miraculous long-lasting oil supply, observed by lighting candles on a menorah, Chanukya, and reciting special prayers, and eating oily foods like latkes and sufganiyat, which symbolizes Jewish resilience and freedom. The terrorists attacked the Jewish community on the first day of the festival after Israel government had on Saturday authorized the killing of a senior Hamas commander, Rad Saad, who Israel, through a statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, stated that, in recent days, Rad Saad had been engaged in rehabilitating the terrorist organization, planning and carrying out attacks against Israel and rebuilding an attack force, in blatant violation of the ceasefire rules and Hamas's commitments to adhere to the US President Donald Trump's plan, stating, instead of promoting demilitarization, he was engaged in rearming for acts of terrorism. Although Israel government has not issued any statement since the Sunday attacks on Jewish community in Sydney as at the time of filing in this news report on Sunday, but Hamas, in a news report published by Al Jazeera, confirmed that Saad had since been killed by Israeli soldiers in the Gaza city of Palestine. One of the video footages of the Sunday attack on the Jewish community in Sydney showed a moment an apparent very brave man disarmed one of the gunmen during the mass shooting, overpowered the suspected terrorist, collected the gun and turned the gun against the suspected terrorist without shooting him, and the suspect gets away, then joins another suspected terrorist shooter who continues firing from a bridge. New South Wales Police declared the shooting as an act of terrorism, and the New South Wales Police Commissioner, Mal Lanyon, said an improvised explosive device was found in a car at the Bondi Beach, linked to the deceased perpetrator. The police commissioner added that a rescue and bomb disposal unit has been deployed to the scene. Local media reported that an emergency services transported 8 injured people to hospital after providing urgent treatment on site, and 11 persons have been confirmed dead by the local authority. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called the scenes shocking and distressing, and said police and medical teams are continuing efforts to protect lives as the investigation develops. The police confirmed that there are 2 known suspects. One is dead while the other is in a life-threatening condition in hospital. Officers are currently investigating. Founder of Sowore Reporters News Media, Omoyele Sowore, on Saturday apparently refused to back down on allegations against the founder and the general overseer of a mega fire ministry, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, over reported cases of alleged paying people to fake miracles and give a chemical substance or injection to Apostle O.C. Benjamin of Fulfiller's House Church to perfect an alleged fake miracle of raising a dead man back to life. An allegation a man simply identified as Apostle Wisdom made while speaking during an interview with Car Truth Media earlier in the year, which, according to Omoyele Sowore, for Apostle Johnson Suleiman to remove the names of the media that conducted the podcast interview and the person that made the statement in the 1 billion naira's lawsuit filed against him and Sowore Reporters News Media, shows Apostle Johnson Suleiman knows the speaker. Apostle Wisdom was probably saying the truth. This Omiyele Sowore stated in reaction to the statement earlier made by Apostle Johnson Suleiman on his personal social media accounts on Saturday, accusing the founder of Sowore Reporters, Omiyele Sowore, of always trying to play the victim's role that wants to be persecuted for fighting for Nigeria, whenever a case is filed against him in the court of law for passing across false and misleading information to defame someone's character, saying that forgiveness is predicated on the admission of guilt and one cannot forgive someone who has neither acknowledged wrongdoing nor shown remorse. In the podcast interview, Apostle Wisdom alleged that Apostle Benjamin, in conspiracy with some members of his church, hired a man from Enugu State and numbers of other persons who acted as neighbors and family members that brought the hired and paid man to the church program held in Bondi State as a dead man. According to the Apostle Wisdom, the hired man who pretended to be dead was put inside a coffin and transported from Enugu to Bondi State with an ambulance. He said the coffin was not covered until the man was brought closer to the church to avoid him being killed out of suffocation. Apostle Wisdom said the initial plan was to inject the hired and paid man with an injection Apostle Johnson Suleiman allegedly gave to Apostle Benjamin. Apostle Wisdom added that Apostle Benjamin refused to use the injection because he was afraid that the chemical substance may kill the hired and paid man. Hence, they decided to open the coffin until the time for the fake and staged miracle was to be conducted. To buttress his facts, Apostle Wisdom said the man that was brought as if he was dead to the church program was sweating because the few minutes the man was covered inside the coffin, he suffered some level of heat that made his body start sweating. Sowore, in numbers of statements between Friday and Saturday, said, "For your information, apparent unsafe nature of Nigeria was recorded again on Sunday in the southeast geopolitical zone of the troubled West Africa country after suspected terrorists launched multiple attacks in Anambra state, killing several numbers of persons after the suspected terrorists attacked a church at Lilu community within Ihiala local government area in the morning and burned part of the St. Andrew's Anglican Church, where the wife of the pastor was brutally murdered at the spot, and in the evening, the suspected terrorists took the hit to Anambra market in Nawfia community and shot sporadically into the Afore market in the Njikoko local government area, causing several casualties, with video evidence from residents indicating that 4 of the bodies died on the spot and were in their pool of blood, and large numbers of others rushed to the hospital. The Nigeria police force has confirmed the suspected terrorists' attack on Anglican Church in Lilu, but yet to issue statement as at the time of filing in this report on Monday morning over the attack on market in Nawfia. According to residents, yet to be ascertained total numbers of persons were killed when some unknown armed men launched an attack near the Afore Market Junction in Nawfia community, in Njikoko local government area of Anambra state on Sunday. At St. Andrew's Church in Lilu, the venerable wife was shot and the target of the attack. The pastor escaped into hiding and was later kept at a security safe place looking traumatized. The church was burnt and the priest's properties, including his car, was set ablaze. In a statement on Sunday, Chief Daniel Okoye, the President General of Nawfia Progressive Union, gave a brief account of the attack on the Anambra market, saying, "This evening, I received with deep shock the tragic news of an attack at the Afore Market Junction in Nawfia community. The incident resulted in multiple casualties, caused by unknown assailants who carried out this senseless act of violence. I strongly condemn this heartbreaking incident and the attempt to disrupt the peace of our beloved community. I have already contacted the relevant security agencies, and investigations are underway to uncover those responsible. I appeal to all NDI Nawfia to remain calm, stay vigilant, and continue to cooperate with security operatives as they work tirelessly to restore normalcy and ensure our safety. My thoughts and prayers are with the families affected. On behalf of the Nawfia Progressive Union, I extend our deepest sympathies and assure you that we are fully committed to supporting efforts aimed at protecting lives and maintaining peace in Nawfia." Anambra State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, in a statement on Monday early morning, said, "The Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Police Command, CP Ikioye Oratugu, condemns in the strongest terms the attack in the morning of the 7th of December 2025, carried out by armed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has expressed happiness that Nigeria troops, both air and land soldiers, have successfully foiled the coup attempt in Benin Republic on Sunday, saying, latest report from the Benin Republic indicated that Colonel Pascal Tigri, the leader of the mutineers who seized the country's national television on Sunday, is on the run, and some other members of the group have been arrested as the defense and security forces in the country thwarted the attempted putsch. And, according to the Nigeria president, Nigeria government acted on two separate requests from the government of Benin Republic, saying, President Tinubu first ordered Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters from the national TV and a military camp where they had regrouped, and secondly ordered ground troops into the Benin Republic territory, which the Nigeria military troops have been confirmed to have taken positions in both air and land space in the Benin Republic, with some local residents saying a few minutes ago that the gun battle is still ongoing. Bayo Onanuga, the spokesperson to the Nigeria president, in a number of statements on Sunday said, coup in Benin fails. Mutineers in military uniform, who attempted to overthrow President Patrice Talon's democratic government on Sunday in the Republic of Benin, have failed. The mutineers seized the national TV after failing to enter President Talon's residence. The latest report from Cotonou said the National Guard has taken control of the situation and surrounded the television station. According to 24 Hours in Benin, discussions are underway with the mutineers, now holed up inside the station. Benin's Interior Minister, Alassane Sidou, says the country's armed forces have thwarted an attempted coup. His statement came after soldiers appeared on state television and announced the removal of President Patrice Talon, the closure of borders and suspension of political parties. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended the gallantry of Nigeria's military on Sunday for responding swiftly to the request by the government of Benin Republic to save its 35-year-old democracy from coup plotters who struck at dawn today. Acting on two separate requests from the government of Benin, President Tinubu first ordered Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters from the national TV and a military camp where they had regrouped. The Republic of Benin, through its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a note verbal, requested immediate Nigerian air support, in view of the urgency and seriousness of the situation and to safeguard the constitutional order, protect national institutions and ensure the security of the population. In the second request, the authorities in Benin, Nigeria police force under the leadership of IGP Kayode Egbetoken has kept mum since reports indicated that the US-trained private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, who was invited to facilitate the rescue of a married couple, husband and wife simply identified as Mr. and Mrs. Ibrahim, that was kidnapped since late November at their home in Avili community, a village near Auchi Polytechnic in the Etsiko West local government area of Edo State, has been arrested and remanded to prison by a court sitting in Benin City, the Edo State capital, over allegations that the private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, underpaid the ransom money given to him to give to the kidnappers to rescue the married couple in captivity. The reports of Harrison Gwamnashu's arrest and subsequent remand to prison custody became widespread after a popular Nigeria social media activist, Vincent Martins Otse, in a video statement on Friday morning alleged that he has facilitated the arrest of the private intelligence officer, Harrison Gwamnashu, for allegedly removing 5.4 million naira from the total amount given to him by the victim's family to help pay as ransom to the kidnappers. This occurred after the sting operations Gwamnashu had prepared the ransom money for was probably aborted after a man, whose real names may be Oshio Rima Job Ace Geme, leaked, revealed and exposed the plan's sensitive security information online. According to the suspect who leaked out the sensitive security operational plans of Gwamnashu, Harrison Gwamnashu never told the family he was going to remove some money from the ransom, that the kidnappers said the money was not complete, hence only the wife was released, the man still held in captivity due to the incomplete ransom payment. The suspect, Oshio Rima Job Askeme, in a video-recorded statement stated that he was the one that helped facilitate the service of Harrison Gwamnashu when the family of the kidnapped victims requested for it. The action of the suspect may have prompted Harrison Gwamnashu to abort the sting operations, obviously for the safety of his personal life and the lives of Nigeria's soldiers and other security operatives he does use to execute and complete his sting operations against kidnappers, which often leads to the killing of the kidnappers and recovering of the total ransom paid. For the purpose of clarity, sting operations is a deceptive practice and undercover tactics used by journalist or intelligent officer or security operative to get closer to a suspected criminal or criminals in order to be more familiar with the criminals and the environment they operate, and the deceptive practice may include the journalist or intelligent officer or security operative pretending to give ransom money to kidnappers in a manner that can cause a delay in proper assessment of the environment before the security troops may launch offensive attack against Nigeria's prominent music icon. Innocent Idibia aka Two-Face Idibia has cried out for help after domestic violence he had with his new wife, Natasha, during social media live stream organized by Daddy Freeze on Monday over allegations and video evidence that surfaced online showing Two-Face Idibia being arrested with the two of his hands handcuffed at the back in London due to altercations he had with his new wife, Natasha. The act of domestic violence between the African Queen music crooner and his new wife has drawn the attention of the Edo State House of Assembly, and the House of Assembly on Tuesday summoned the wife, Natasha, who is also a member of Parliament in the Edo State House of Assembly, to appear before its disciplinary committee on ethics over what the State Assembly described as a behavior capable of embarrassing the House. It may be recalled that at the beginning of the year, Two-Face Idibia announced his break-up with Annie Macaulay in January 2025 and presented Natasha as new wife-to-be. Soon, Two-Face younger brother, Charles Idibia, came online and said his elder brother, Tubaba, has moved from frying pan to burning furnace, expressing deep displeasure over the choice of Honorable Natasha as a wife. Two-Face Idibia, in an Instagram story a few hours ago, made a simple post with a write-up, "Help me." He did not state what he wants people to help him with or give a clearer picture of whatever he needed help for. Many people in the society included suggested the needed help may not be unconnected with marital issues he's probably having with his new wife, Natasha. But in a video later today, he said, "This is getting out of hand. It's a very dangerous situation. I understand what fans can do, but I am perfectly okay. This is putting Natasha at risk. Please, I need everybody to calm down and cease. We're gonna resolve all these issues. People they get issues for house nobi today. Please friends, family, everybody cease fire. Please, I am perfectly fine. I didn't post that post." The Nigerian music icon, Two-Face Idibia, addressed growing concerns after a troubling post circulated online suggesting he was in distress and calling for help. The Edo State House of Assembly on Tuesday summoned the wife and the lawmaker representing Igor constituency, Natasha E. Robosa, to explain what members describe as behavior capable of embarrassing the House after videos of the legislator, who is married to music star Innocent Tubaba Idibia, kept spreading online. According to the Speaker, Blessing Agbebeku, the lawmaker must appear before the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges within 1 week to respond to the allegation of misconduct linked to her recent actions. Presidency under the command and control of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that if the ex-president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, wished to help in addressing apparent worsening security situations in the West Africa country, Obasanjo must first acknowledge the past failures that allowed terrorists to gain a foothold, and then support ongoing efforts, not undermine them. The presidency, through the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Communications, Sunday Dare, stated this few days ago in reactions to the statement of Obasanjo that Nigerians have rights to call on international community's intervention if the government can no longer protect them, stating that the terrorists also kill people of other religions should not be an excuse. This, Obasanjo said while he was speaking at a Christmas carol event in Jos Plateau State, after President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S. had raised alarm of what the U.S. President described as Christians' genocide in Nigeria and threatened to send U.S. troops to Nigeria if the killing of Christians continued by the suspected Islamic terrorists. A presidential statement that has seen spike in the activities of kidnapping and killings in Nigeria and thus creating more attention to the apparent unsafe nature of the country, which included the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi, the kidnapping of 38 worshippers in Ereku, Kwara, and the mass abduction of over 300 students and teachers still in captivity at a Catholic school in Niger State, with daily wave of coordinated attacks across the northern and southern parts of the country, wherein the bandits, often suspected to be Fulani herdsmen, have abducted monarchs, worshippers, a bride, married couples, students and travelers, taking at least 600 people as captives within 14 days. And the rising unsafe nature of things could have made the Nigeria's defense minister, Alhaji Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, to tender resignation letter on Monday, while the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has since been appointed as the new defense minister, and the Senate has scheduled today, Wednesday, for his screening in line with the law and constitutional procedures of the Africa country. According to Obasanjo, no matter what religion you belong to, no matter where you come from, no matter what profession, we Nigerians are being killed. And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting us. We are part of the world community. If our government cannot do it, we have right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. And for anybody to say because those who are being killed belong to this region, belong to this religion, belong to this tribe, and then others too are being killed, cannot be an acceptable excuse. Before I left government,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has declared a state of emergency over growing insecurity in the West Africa country, and as such, banned open grazing, with a call on Herders Association to tell their members to surrender illegal weapons in their possession, and as well gave a matching order to the Department of State Services, DSS, to recruit more forest guards to chase away terrorists and bandits from all forests in Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also called on members of the National Assembly to review existing laws in Nigeria and give rooms for the establishment of state police. In his words, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while declaring the state of emergency on security matters on Wednesday, said, "Today, in view of the emerging security situation, I have decided to declare a nationwide security emergency and order additional recruitment into the armed forces. By this declaration, the police and the army are authorized to recruit more personnel. The police will recruit an additional 20,000 officers, bringing the total to 50,000. Although I had previously approved the nationwide upgrade of police training facilities, the police authorities are, by this statement, authorized to use various National Youth Service Corps camps as training depots. The officers being withdrawn from VIP guard duties should undergo crash training to debrief them and deliver more efficient police services when deployed to security-challenged areas of the country. The DSS also has my authority to immediately deploy all the forest guards already trained to flush out the terrorists and bandits lurking in our forests. The agency also has my directive to recruit more men to man the forests. There will be no more hiding places for agents of evil. My fellow Nigerians, this is a national emergency, and we are responding by deploying more boots on the ground, especially in security-challenged areas. The times require all hands on deck. As Nigerians, we should all get involved in securing our nation. Let me take this moment to commend our security agencies for working together to secure the release of the 24 schoolgirls in Kebbi and the 38 worshippers in Kwara State. We will continue to sustain the efforts to rescue the remaining students of Catholic school in Niger State and other Nigerians still being held hostage. To the leadership and rank and file of our armed forces, I commend your courage and your sacrifice. This is a challenging moment for our nation and for the military institution itself. I charge you to remain resolute, to restore peace across all theaters of operation, and to uphold the highest standards of discipline and integrity. There must be no compromise. no collusion, and no negligence. The Nigerian people are counting on you, and this administration will provide. There are concerns that a renewed war may break out between Israel and Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon as Pope Leo XIV prepares to visit Turkey and Lebanon beginning this week, from the 27th of November to the 2nd of December 2025, which will be the first apostolic journey of the head of Catholic Church outside Italy of his pontificate. The possible renewed war may occur following Hezbollah stands to retaliate attacks Israel launched in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut on Sunday, killing Hezbollah chief of staff and second in command, Haytham Ali Tabatabai alongside 4 other persons, namely, Qasim Hussein Bajawi, Mustafa Assad Berro, Rifat Ahmed Hussein, Ibrahim Ali Hussein, and funeral is being held in their honor in Beirut as at the time of filing in this report on Monday. Israel, while confirming the killings, said, Tabatabai is a mass murderer, his hands are soaked in the blood of many Israelis and Americans, and it is not for nothing that the US put a bounty of $5 million on his head, although previous popes had visited Lebanon in the past successfully, but the current pope, Pope Leo XIV, is the first US-born citizen to be pontiff or head of the Roman Catholic Church, and one of the Hezbollah official, Mahmoud Qumati, in a statement on Sunday as he stood near the bombed-out building in the Harid Rake suburb, said, Israel's strike crossed a red line, and Hezbollah's leadership would decide on whether and how the group would respond. The Hezbollah, while confirming Tabatabai's death, said, Tabatabai, the great jihadist commander, who had worked to confront Israeli enemy until the last moment of his blessed life, ascended as a martyr in sacrifice for Lebanon and its people following a treacherous Israeli attack on Harid Rake area in Beirut's southern suburb. Israel carried out the airstrike on the southern Beirut suburb for the first time since June, killing at least 5 people and wounding 28, according to Lebanon Health Ministry. Funeral proceedings for Haytham Ali Tabatabai, the Hezbollah commander, and others were held on Monday in Beirut's southern suburbs. Early photographs and videos from the scene showed Hezbollah members carrying Tabatabai's coffin, draped in yellow and green, and raising the group's yellow flags as they marched through the Lebanese capital. Hezbollah said the strike, launched almost exactly a year after a ceasefire ended the Israel-Hezbollah war, threatened an escalation of attacks, just days before Pope Leo XIV is scheduled to visit Lebanon on his first foreign trip outside Italy. In its statement, the IDF said Tabatabai commanded most of Hezbollah's units and worked hard to restore them to readiness for war with Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office said earlier Sunday that the Hezbollah chief of staff was the target of the Israeli strike on Sunday. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria Federal Capital Territory, on Thursday convicted and sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to a passionate prison term of life imprisonment against the penalty of death sentence he said he ought to have pronounced on the Biafra Republic agitation leader over the statements Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made on October 20, 2020 through Radio Biafra during the warlike situation between the civilian population and Nigeria security operatives following series of reports that the Nigeria security operatives were shooting and killing innocent unarmed protesters, who were protesting against bad government and police brutalities tagged Ends's protest. Justice Omotosho in his ruling said, Nnamdi Kanu was responsible for the killing of 175 security operatives during the Ends's civil-military war-like situation on October 20, 2020, and Justice Omotosho in his ruling failed to state the numbers of civilians that were killed by Nigeria security operatives during the war-like situation that apparently forced Nnamdi Kanu to start teaching the civilians on how to manufacture Molotov cocktail, also known as petrol bombs, urging them to go and meet welders to buy bulletproof doors from the welders to defend themselves, and launched a retaliatory defensive attacks against the Nigeria security operatives who were accused of turning the peaceful protest into a barrage of gunfire, human rights violations and abuses. Justice Omotosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu on counts 4 and 5 over the Ends's protest, and he described Nnamdi Kanu action during the violent protest as an act of terrorism. On count 1, Justice Omatosho convicted Nnamdi Kanu for an act of preparatory to commit terrorism over statements made by Nnamdi Kanu in May 2021. Justice Omatosho in the ruling claimed and ruled that Nnamdi Kanu declared war against security operatives in the southeast states without provocation. This statement by Justice Omatosho apparently made him look like a biased person, because after Justice Omatosho read the entire 7-count charge and convicted Nnamdi Kanu, Justice Omatosho thereafter recognized a media news report and broadcast of Nnamdi Kanu on April 25, 2021, wherein Nnamdi Kanu vowed to avenge the killing of Akonso, the then head of Eastern Security Network, ESN, by a combined team of Nigeria security operatives led by the Nigerian Army under the command of former Chief of Army Staff, late Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, who was then the General Officer commanding GOC 82 Division. The Nigerian Army insisted in its report that Akonso was killed during exchange of gunfire with the security operatives, but Nnamdi Kanu rejected.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.